When God begins to change how you look, He doesn't start with what's on the outside. He starts with what's within. Before the world sees transformation in your life, before anyone recognizes the difference in you, God is already doing a deep unseen work. Because real change, the kind that lasts, isn't about modifying appearances or behaviors. It's about a renewal that happens from the inside out. You see, too many people try to fix their lives by adjusting surface-level things. They change the way they dress, the way they talk, the way they present themselves, hoping that somehow this will make them feel different. They chase after recognition, approval, validation from people who are just as lost as they are. But God is not in the business of temporary makeovers. He is in the business of complete transformation. When He steps into your life, the first thing He does is shift your mindset. He begins to remove the old broken thoughts that have kept you trapped in insecurity, doubt, and fear. He starts challenging the lies you believed about yourself, the ones that told you you're not good enough, you're unworthy, you'll never be more than what you are. He replaces those lies with truth, with the identity He has given you since the beginning of time. And when that shift happens, everything begins to change, because the way you think determines the way you live. The way you see yourself influences every decision you make, every opportunity you step into, every relationship you build. If you continue to see yourself as small, as unworthy, as incapable, you will continue to shrink back from the destiny God has placed before you. But when you allow God to renew your mind, when you let Him rewrite the story you've been telling yourself, you step into a new level of confidence, of boldness, of clarity about who you are and why you're here. And when God does this work, it's not subtle, it's not small. It's not something you have to force or pretend, it's undeniable. You start to walk differently, you speak with a new authority. You carry yourself with a presence that can't be ignored, and people will notice. They may not be able to put their finger on it, but they will sense that something is different. Some will be drawn to it, inspired by it, wanting to know what changed. Others might be uncomfortable because your transformation is confronting their complacency. But that's not your concern. Your concern is simply to keep walking in the change that God is doing in you. This transformation is not about trying harder. It's not about forcing yourself to be someone you're not. It's about surrender. It's about allowing God to do what only He can do, breaking the chains of your past, healing the wounds that have kept you stuck, and awakening the power that has always been inside you. And let me tell you something, when God starts this work in you, He will not stop until it is complete. He's not going to leave you halfway transformed, half changed, stuck between who you were and who you are becoming. No, He will finish what He started. And when He's done, you won't just look different to others, you will feel different to yourself. You will wake up with a sense of purpose you never had before. You will see possibilities where you once saw obstacles. You will move through life with a fire, with a strength, with a confidence that cannot be shaken. So if you feel like God is changing how you look, if you feel like something inside of you is shifting, don't fight it. Don't resist it. Let Him do the work, because what He is doing is far greater than you can imagine. You are stepping into a version of yourself that you were always meant to be. And the world is about to see exactly what happens when God changes a life from the inside out. Your past does not define your future. No matter what you've been through, no matter what mistakes you've made, no matter how many times life has knocked you down, God is not finished with you. People may try to define you by where you've been, by what you've done, or by what they think you'll never become. But people's opinions don't have the final say over your life. God does. And when He looks at you, He doesn't see your failures, your regrets, or your shortcomings. He sees the masterpiece He created, the purpose He placed inside of you, the future that is still waiting to unfold. Too often we get stuck in the mindset that our past limits us. We carry the weight of guilt, of shame, of missed opportunities, and we convince ourselves that we can never rise above it. We let the voices of doubt and condemnation tell us that because we failed before, we'll fail again. That because we made bad choices, we forfeited our destiny. That because we weren't born into privilege or raised in the right environment, we can't go any further than where we started. But let me tell you something. God specializes in rewriting stories. He takes broken pieces and turns them into something beautiful. He takes what was meant for harm and uses it for good. He doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And that means it doesn't matter where you started. It doesn't matter who counted you out. It doesn't matter if you were the underdog, the outcast, or the one nobody believed in. When God puts His hand on your life, everything changes. Think about some of the greatest people in history. Leaders, visionaries, game changers. Many of them didn't come from perfect backgrounds. Some of them had to fight through rejection, setbacks, and failure after failure before they ever saw breakthrough. But what separated them from the ones who stayed stuck was their refusal to let their past define them. They decided that their mistakes would not be their identity. They chose to believe that something greater was ahead. And because they walked forward in faith, they stepped into the purpose that had been waiting for them all along. And the same is true for you. You are not your past. You are not the pain you've endured. You are not the mistakes you've made. You are not the person you used to be. God is doing a new thing in you. And if you let go of what's behind, you will step into the incredible future He has prepared. But here's the key. You have to let go of the old identity. You have to stop seeing yourself through the lens of past failures. You have to stop defining yourself by the struggles you went through. Because as long as you hold on to that old version of yourself, you will keep living beneath your potential. God is saying, I have more for you. I have a new identity for you. I have a new level of power, of influence, of purpose waiting for you. But you can't embrace the new if you're still clinging to the old. So today I challenge you, release the shame. Release the guilt. Release the fear that history will repeat itself. When God forgives you, He doesn't just erase the past. He replaces it with a new beginning. He restores, He renews, and He elevates. The people who knew the old you might try to remind you of where you've been. They might question whether you've really changed. They might doubt that you can rise above what they remember. But it's not their story, it's yours. And what God is doing in you is far greater than what anyone else can see. You are not bound by your past. You are stepping into something greater. And the moment you stop looking back is the moment you truly start moving forward. There comes a time in your life when you have to make a decision. Are you going to keep carrying the weight of who you used to be, or are you going to step into who God is calling you to become? Because you can't step into a new season while holding on to an old mindset. You can't embrace transformation while clinging to the version of yourself that no longer fits where you're going. So many people miss their breakthrough, not because they aren't capable, not because they aren't anointed, but because they refuse to let go of the old self. They keep replaying past failures, holding on to old habits, staying connected to the same toxic cycles and wondering why they feel stuck. But you can't expect to walk in a new level of power while carrying the chains of yesterday. You have to be willing to break free. And breaking free isn't always comfortable. It's not easy to let go of what's familiar. It's not easy to unlearn patterns that have been with you for years. It's not easy to walk away from environments, relationships, or mindsets that you've relied on. But comfort is the enemy of transformation. You can't grow if you're unwilling to change. You can't move forward if you're still holding on to what was. God is trying to elevate you, but elevation requires separation. Sometimes He has to pull you away from certain people, from certain places, from certain mindsets, because where you're going, the old version of you can't come. The insecurities can't come. The doubt can't come. The bad habits, the excuses, the sabotage, it all has to go. And I know letting go is hard. I know it feels like loss. I know it feels like uncertainty. But let me tell you something. Every time God asks you to release something, because He has something greater waiting for you. He has not taken anything from you that is meant for your destiny. If it had to go, it means it was never part of your future. If it walked away, if it fell apart, if it stopped working, it's because He is making room for something better. But you have to be willing to trust Him. You have to be willing to say, I may not see the full picture yet. I may not understand why things are shifting the way they are. But I refuse to hold on to what God is telling me to let go of. That's faith. Faith is trusting that what's ahead is greater than what's behind. Faith is knowing that when God strips something away, He's not leaving you empty. He's preparing you for increase. Don't resist the transformation. When you feel things shifting, when you feel God pulling you away from old mindsets, when you feel the discomfort of change, know that it's a sign that He's preparing you for something bigger. He's not punishing you. He's positioning you. He's not breaking you, building you. And when you finally release the old version of yourself, when you finally let go of what was, you will step into a freedom like you've never known before. You will see doors open that you never imagined. You will walk in a confidence that can't be shaken. You will look in the mirror and realize that you are no longer the same person. You are stronger, wiser, bolder. And that's when you know God has truly changed how you look. Not just on the outside, but from the inside out. There is nothing more powerful than when God changes the way you see yourself. Because the way you see yourself determines everything. The way you think, the way you move, the way you step into opportunities, and the way you respond to challenges. When you see yourself through the wrong lens, you will always live beneath your potential. But when God shifts your vision, when He allows you to see yourself the way He sees you, everything changes. Too many people go through life seeing themselves as small, inadequate, or unworthy. They allow past experiences, failures, and even the words of others to shape their self-image. They walk around believing they're not smart enough, not talented enough, not chosen, not called. And because they believe it, they live it. They shrink back when they should step forward. They hesitate when they should take action. They settle for less because they don't believe they're worth more. But the moment God opens your spiritual eyes, the moment He removes the blinders of insecurity and doubt, you start to see yourself differently. You start to realize that you were never meant to live in the shadows. You were never meant to be overlooked. You were never meant to live in fear. You were created for greatness. You were created with purpose. You were created to stand strong, to walk boldly, to step into everything God has prepared for you. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you realize who you really are, you can't go back to playing small. Once you understand that there is power inside of you, you can't keep doubting yourself. And it's not arrogance, it's awareness. It's knowing that you carry something divine inside of you, something that cannot be diminished by opinions, something that cannot be stopped by obstacles, something that cannot be taken away by circumstances. And let me tell you, the enemy doesn't want you to see it. Because if you ever fully recognize who you are, if you ever truly grasp the power God has placed in you, nothing will be able to stop you. That's why the attacks come. That's why the doubts creep in. That's why fear tries to keep you bound. Because the enemy knows that a person who truly sees themselves the way God sees them is unstoppable. That's why you have to be intentional about protecting your vision. You have to stop allowing the wrong voices to shape your perspective. You have to stop letting past failures tell you who you are. You have to stop defining yourself by the things that went wrong, by the mistakes you made, by the moments you fell short. That's not who you are. And God is not looking at who you were. He's looking at who He created you to be. And when He shifts your vision, when He allows you to see yourself through His eyes, you will walk differently. You will speak differently. You will make decisions differently. Because when you know you were chosen, you stop begging for acceptance. When you know you are enough, you stop trying to prove yourself. When you know you're anointed, you stop seeking validation. And when you know you have a purpose, you stop wasting time. This is your moment to step into that new vision. This is your moment to see yourself the way God sees you. This is your moment to walk boldly, without fear, without hesitation, without apology, because the world needs the real you. The confident you, the strong you, the fearless you. And once you see it, nothing and no one will ever be able to make you doubt it again. When God changes how you look, it's not just for you. It's not just so you can feel better about yourself or so you can walk with confidence. It's because He's elevating you to a place where your life begins to influence and inspire those around you. When God does a work in you, it's never just about you. It's about the people who will see the transformation, the people who will be impacted by your growth, the people who will look at you and realize that if God could do it for you, He can do it for them too. You may not realize it, but your presence is powerful. The way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you respond to challenges, it all sends a message to the world about who you are and what you believe about yourself. When you walk in insecurity, people can sense it. When you shrink back, people notice. But when you step forward with confidence, when you carry yourself with a presence that says, I know who I am and I know where I'm going, people feel that too. And it changes the way they see you. That's why you can't afford to stay in the mindset of who you used to be. That's why you can't keep carrying the weight of past failures, disappointments, or doubts, because the world is watching. There are people who need to see what transformation looks like. There are people who need to witness what happens when someone allows God to do a deep work in their life. And when that transformation happens, when God shifts your identity, when He removes the fear, the hesitation, and the doubt, something happens in the way you show up in the world. You no longer walk with your head down. You no longer hesitate to speak. You no longer seek approval from people who don't even know their own worth. Instead, you step into every room with authority. You carry yourself like someone who knows they belong. You move with the kind of confidence that can't be shaken by opinions, setbacks, or temporary struggles. Let me tell you something. People will notice. Some will be inspired. They'll see the new version of you and wonder what changed. They'll ask, how did you go from where you were to where you are now? And that's your opportunity to show them what's possible. That's your opportunity to be the evidence that God can take someone who was overlooked, someone who was broken, someone who was doubted, and turn them into something powerful. But not everyone will celebrate the change. Some people will be uncomfortable with your elevation. Some people liked you better when you were insecure, when you played small, when you stayed in the background, because your growth reminds them of their own stagnation. Your confidence highlights their doubts. Your elevation exposes the fact that they've been settling. And instead of celebrating you, they may criticize you. They may try to bring up your past, question your transformation, or make you feel guilty for growing beyond what they expected. But you can't let that stop you. You can't dim your light just to make other people comfortable. You can't shrink yourself to fit into spaces you've outgrown. When God changes how you look, when He shifts your identity, when He gives you a new level of presence and influence, you have a responsibility to walk in it fully. Because your elevation isn't just about you. It's about the lives you're meant to impact, the people you're meant to inspire, the doors you're meant to open for those coming after you. So don't apologize for your growth. Don't downplay your transformation. Don't hold back when you know you've been called to stand tall. Walk boldly in who you are becoming. Step confidently into the influence God has given you. Because when He changes how you look, it's not just so the world can see you, it's so the world can see Him through you. There comes a moment when you have to stop hesitating, stop questioning, stop waiting for permission, and step boldly into who you were created to be. When God changes how you look, it's not just so you can stand in front of a mirror and admire the transformation. It's so you can walk with authority into the life He designed for you. But the challenge is, too many people receive the change but never fully step into it. They sense that something is shifting. They know they've been transformed, but they still walk like the old version of themselves. They still hesitate. They still second guess. They still act like they don't belong in the very place God has called them to. That hesitation has to end today. If God has changed how you look, if He has shifted your identity, if He has done a work inside of you, then it's time to move like it. It's time to speak like it. It's time to carry yourself with the boldness and confidence of someone who knows they are chosen, someone who knows they have purpose, someone who knows they are walking in divine favor. Because here's the truth. Nobody can walk in your destiny for you. Nobody can claim your position. Nobody can fulfill the assignment on your life except you. You can't keep waiting for everyone to understand your transformation. You can't keep looking for approval from people who weren't even assigned to your journey. Some people won't get it. Some people will try to remind you of who you used to be. Some people will wonder why you're walking with more confidence, why you're showing up differently, why you're no longer entertaining the same conversations, the same habits, the same environments. But that's not your concern. Your concern is to keep moving forward, because when God elevates you, it's not up for debate. When God positions you, no one can remove you. When God calls you to something greater, your only responsibility is to step into it with full faith. There is no time to play small. There is no time to let fear keep you stuck. There is no time to question whether you deserve the blessing, whether you're qualified, whether you have what it takes. If God has changed how you look, if He has removed the old, if He has shifted your identity, then He has already equipped you for what's next. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to wait for someone to give you permission. You are already enough. You are already called. You are already chosen. The only thing left to do is walk in it. And walking in it means carrying yourself with the confidence of someone who knows they belong. It means stepping into every room like God sent you. It means speaking with authority, not arrogance, but the certainty that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. It means moving forward even when you don't have all the answers, trusting that if God led you here, He will provide everything you need along the way. You have come too far to go back now. You have fought through too much to let fear hold you hostage. You have been transformed, elevated, renewed, and positioned for greater. And the world is waiting to see what happens when you fully embrace the person you were always meant to be. So step boldly. Move without fear. Walk in your new identity with full confidence, knowing that what God has placed inside of you is unstoppable.